Nice. Well, it is 5:45. Ooh, hello.
You're late.
That voice. You can probably hear this.
All I know is you got to keep it 2.5 feet from you.
Yeah, that's loud. We'll call the meeting to order. Any citizens' input?
Marjorie, got anything?
Nothing.
Actually, would this be the time to talk about high school girls golf?
Sure.
Just want to point out that those girls got second place again this year. Individual second place finished as well too, but 4 of their girls finished in the top 25 and got a medal, and a 5th was 1 place out of it. So another year for our girls. And I know last year when they were here, they really talked about the golf course being in the good shape that it's in with the greens and those sorts of things as part of their success. So did it again. What is it, since 2021 they've finished in the top 2, I think.
4 years in a row, Red.
Yeah, 4 years in second place, and they won at one time.
And I talked to Brian a week or so ago to have him bring his team into this meeting, but he had a family issue in Wisconsin, so I said, bring him in July. So he's going to reach out to him and have him come in. We'll recognize him.
Yep. But yeah, another huge year for those girls.
Yeah.
And they bring everybody back but 2. So make another run.
Good. Anything else? Okay. Any delegations? Which one of you took my pen and put it in my pocket?
I was going to say you use a Viking pen.
I gotta check these off because this is hard to keep track.
Does that even work?
Okay, motion to approve our minutes from our May meeting.
Takes a while.
So
Joel? And was it Mark or Tom?
Give me Tom.
You sure? Don't fight over it.
I'll second it.
All right, there we go. Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Minutes were approved. Financial reports.
We'll just let Kevin scroll through them here, and if anybody has any questions. I looked through them earlier. I didn't really see anything extraordinary. Fuel, supplies and materials, all pretty typical stuff. So unless somebody has a question on something, we'll buzz through them. Pump house utility bill is up there, but that's typical. Cemetery revenue expense. Revenue was up a little bit. Expenses are kind of right in line with last year. But the only thing that was a lot more last year than this year was a piece of equipment that we got at this point in time, year to date from last year. So other than that, everything's pretty well in line. There again, if anybody has any questions.
Yeah, the only thing on the chemicals I had was it's double from last year. Is that just a matter of when it came in? I'm on the condensed one. Yeah, right there. The chemicals. Down one more. Down reference when they.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we just purchased it earlier.
It's 12,000 and 24,000.
Yep. It's just come in earlier than last year. And I just paid for it sooner than last year. So, yep. We really aren't spending any more. It's just in a different time frame. Golf course.
You want me to go back to revenues?
Yeah, probably. Any questions on revenues? we're getting. I mean, we're
Really good.
we're up in a lot of categories from last year. We're up about 40,000 ahead of last year. I think I don't remember the exact number.
Overall.
I did mark off two refunds and reimbursements. I just not sure what that was.
So in that is the credit card, 3%.
Oh, did they?
And that gets paid back to Eric, so because he pays it up front.
Be under income, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. He did a reverse expense or not?
Mhm.
Reversed income, I mean?
Yeah,
Why is it under income?
Talk to the accountant regarding
yeah.
that. It's got to show his income to start with, and then half of it goes out, so it'd be an expense
Where does
against
it ever get income?
We bring it in from that credit card fee.
Correct, it all goes into Eric.
Yep.
So when he's paying you.
Yep. So it comes in, and then it comes out of our expenses.
Income and you take it back out.
Yep.
Huh. Probably might have not income. One other question, since I'm asking all the questions. Sale of fixed assets, I see we did. Fixed assets, 3,400.
That
Did he remember this?
uh,
Right below that, it's on the bottom of that. Income. Are you under expenses?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm under income.
it's easier for me to see on mine than up there.
We put something on that.
Purple Wave, yeah.
It's not big.
real grinder.
Yeah, there was a Real Grinder. There was a couple other
Sharpener.
things. So yeah, we had about 6-8 items. Some were golf course, some were cemetery. So
So we get thin blood.
yeah, that was that. Anybody? Any other questions on revenue?
Nope, looks good. Looking at the year-to-date budget column on the right-hand side, seeing some of the big ticket items. They're 90-some percent, 60%, 60%, 90%. That's really good for this time of year
Yep.
to see that.
And talking with Eric, we're anticipating that membership will. There are some that we still haven't seen yet, and there's a lot of fun passes that haven't renewed. So the fun passes that renew in June or July, that's when they get counted towards our membership total for the year. So we have a lot of fun passes out there. So I didn't look at Eric's numbers to see exactly where we're at. We'll look at that here in a little bit, but yeah, revenue is moving along well. So
Here last year to be a little south of 40,000 ahead is
Yeah.
amazing.
yeah, last month we were about 50,000 ahead, and so we've kind of started leveling off a little bit, but still, we're still doing pretty good.
Today,
Yeah, the weather over the last couple weeks hasn't been phenomenal, so but it seems like even on whereas 5 or 10 years ago, the days that it would have been kind of maybe a couple $100, it seems like we're still bringing in $1,000, $1,500 of daily revenue.
Well, I did the math on Eric's numbers for his report that's coming up, and I think I averaged it out in May at like 140 rounds a day going through the golf course.
Mm. There's been multiple 200, 240, 260. So
Crazy.
and we're getting high numbers during the week also, and it's not just weekends. So
Think of that many carts making that loop around there.
How is the course holding up with all of this?
there's some areas that are definitely getting more and more aware. We've put up some ropes and stuff to help with that, but Eric's been and I've been trying to talk to people and just say, hey, it's really not necessary for you to be off the cart path right here. Could you kind of move back to the cart path? So it's kind of one of those things that's it's not a good problem to have that you have that much traffic, but it is. So I guess it's a better problem to have than not enough traffic that you're hoping to have. So I think if we keep, I mean, there might have to be a bump in fertilizer budget to do more fertilizing in the roughs and along tee boxes, and not just one application a year just to hope it holds, but a couple applications a year, maybe a little more aerification, that type of stuff. And then, I mean, I hate to see ropes up, number one, for the look of it, and number two, for the maintenance of it. But it's just something that might have to be done long term. So
Jason, I see your new tee boxes are starting to fill in a little bit. I thought they were coming back in June to take care of that.
yeah, so we're working on that yet. They're going to be coming back. I think most of them, I think with a little bit of, we're going to probably plug holes in it and do some top dressing on them and help them fill in a little bit. But 3 of the ones on the course and the new number 15 tees, they will be coming yet, but we haven't nailed that down yet. So, but
How far away is the 15th green? Looks like you're getting mowed down there pretty good.
14.
14.
14, correct.
So we've been kind of notching it down a little bit. I need to get out there and do some top dressing on that, and just really start dialing it in. It's got a little ways to go yet, but it's pretty much just there's plenty of grass there. It just needs to tighten up and fill in. So.
When do you expect the grand opening?
I was really hoping for the end of June, at least for the par 3. I don't know. I have to get just a little bit closer before we make that final decision on that. So we're really shooting the state tournament in July. I'm hoping to have the forward tees and the new par 3 open for sure, and then 15 we'll see how that comes in. So
Because they're going to sod that, right?
the tee tops.
Yep.
Yeah.
And how long after they sod?
Should be a month, but I mean we can push it a little bit if we're just talking about one set of tee boxes. So
What did you say they're starting in this set?
the tee tops. So not the 15 tee tops. 50. What I'm hoping is the 15 tee tops, and there's 3, number 1, 17, and 18. I think the other ones, if we do a little more stuff to them and add a little more material to the top of them, and it'll, when you top dress and stuff and you fill divots, it's not like if they have sand seed in a lot of places, not necessarily the seed that helps it grow in. It's when you have the sand that's level with it and it doesn't have to go down and then back up. Whereas the grass can go like this and not have to go down first. So So a combination of those things, and I think we'll be all right on those. So
Do we have anything more on the financials so we can finish that up and then talk more about this when you're
unless somebody has questions on the expenses.
need a motion to approve the financials?
So moved.
Terry
Second.
and Joe. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No, same sign. They are approved. Clubhouse report. Eric won't be here tonight, so we'll just
Yep.
fill in with what he's. Did
Yep.
he supply anything?
Just this.
Okay.
So
Oh yeah, there we go.
if you guys want to read that, if you have questions, I'll try to answer whatever I can. Kids camp is going on right now. He's got a lot of kids out there, but got run over going into the clubhouse this morning. He's got a lot of helping him out. His employees and other volunteers helping out. We had John Paul II last Friday. We have Chamber of Commerce tournament tomorrow. Veterans tournament later this week. Women's the women have an event this Wednesday night. First tee program in July is coming up.
Looks good. Superintendent report.
You want to go over rounds and stuff?
Oh yeah. Sorry, the other sheet.
As you can see, I mean, he has that just through March is 9,200 rounds. I wonder if that's a typo.
I was looking at
Yeah.
that too, and I
Yeah.
wondered because above it says month of May.
Yeah. So we're well on our way. So like I said, we're about 698 total members right now. So we're 14 ahead of last year already, and definitely would say that there's still more coming. 85 new members. Range passes are up. Family is down, or no, family is up. Singles are down just slightly.
What would you guys average, Dan, when you were running it for members?
I don't think you heard you.
Dan,
Geez, this thing, they keep doing the PA system. All I hear is this 55-gallon barrel.
when you were running it, about where were you at for members?
It varied, like you're counting everyone as members, 550 most of the time is what sticks in my brain. Merv said he had back 800 the day before punch cards.
Hmm.
And when Wild Oak was 9.
Yep.
You know,
I think around that 2012
what's
was.
that?
I think around that 2012 it was at 800, I believe.
But, you know, you had no punch cards. I'm gonna guess maybe half of them.
Sure.
You know, like me, my wife don't only golf 4 times a year, so I buy her a punch card instead of a family membership. Then my daughter and grandkids can use it. And you go through one, you get another one.
Mhm.
But this might be the worst that's had the mic system. You're just echoing. I can understand. Decent, good.
So, yeah, being between more members and greens fees and cart rentals and range use has been, we're picking pretty much every day. So,
Yeah.
I will be closing down part of the range T, the north end, to let it heal a little bit.
I was gonna say, I was out there the other day and boy, that's getting,
So we'll give it an extra shot of fertilizer, give it some good sanding, and close it off for maybe a week. We did that a couple times last year. Push people down to the south end, and it's a little bit further of a walk if they're walking, but most people have their cart out there. So
Yeah, it's really beat up.
so. Any other questions?
looks good. Now can we go to the superintendent's report?
Yeah.
Good.
Community gardens full. We got a waiting list just in case if somebody drops out. Every once in a while, we have that happen. Plan on adding some compost and black dirt this fall. We got some that are kind of low. I don't know, just cemetery. A couple breaks going on. Got done with Memorial Day. Started cleaning that up here over the last couple days. We have been doing more and more when we dig a grave. We salvage the sod to put on old cremations and stuff like that instead of seeding them. Working on the budget, so.
To the cemetery, during Memorial Day, looked outstanding. Did a great job.
No, the guys they did between the regular cemetery staff and
But just
the
when we were out there,
Yeah.
for those, everything that went on, and
Yep.
it was really nice.
Very nice.
I was really impressed with the flag that they hung down.
from the fire
Yeah.
truck.
Pretty cool.
Yep. Yeah, last year I think it was too windy for it, so they tried to put it up, but it was too windy. So, golf course fertilized fairways last week. Pretty well fully staffed now. Just having to train a lot of new people, especially on tee markers. As I mentioned earlier, we've had to rope off some areas because of wear. I've got the new irrigation computer installed. Working on some tweaking on that. Working on some other irrigation issues, mainly electrical issues on the golf course. Just trying to prep the new stuff as much as possible. Starting to drop the mowing heights a little bit. Just taking care of odds and ends issues on it. Got the golf course weed eated. Well, it wasn't last week, it was the week before. We had to concentrate on the cemetery for Memorial Day, and then we hit the ground running the week after. Again, just getting into more of a routine on the mowing and rolling and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just kind of working on the budget and odds and ends stuff. So, anybody have any questions?
So this fall, again, they're gonna start draining the lake.
Uh-huh.
I mean, where are we gonna be next year as far as water? Don't know.
I don't know that answer yet. They're working on it. And I've been promise we'll have water. So that's as much as I can say right now.
I was in a meeting with the lake engineers a couple of weeks back and had Jason in communication, texting back and forth. And he sent through the exact numbers that he's going through each month and each day even. And it surprised them a little bit, but they're working on it.
Jason, is your pump calculated, or do you have to do the hours, do the calculation yourself?
I just run it through my computer and
The hours run and.
Yeah. So I mean, I have talked to the city engineer and stuff about some cost saving or water saving ways we can, wetting agents and some different stuff that might be a possibility to, if we are limited on water amount, that those things would help so that not necessarily we would cut out watering, but it would maybe take us from 4 days a week to 3 days a week or something like that. So the main thing is going to be the reliability of the water source, that it's not going to be hit and miss, that it's 90 degrees and it's a Saturday morning and all of a sudden
Got no water.
I got no water. Well, that don't work great when you have 240 golfers trouncing across the golf course. So it's being addressed, but there is not an answer yet. So that's all I can say.
It just concerns me a little bit that, you
Yeah.
know,
Oh, I'm right there.
Yeah.
I'm
sure
right there,
Cadwell's
Terry.
The same way.
well, Cadwell and I'm sure the soccer fields and,
Yep.
you know,
So I was told that they believe that the golf course will be the easiest of the four to supply. So
Okay.
is what I've been told. So
When are they going to start the draining?
not until November, last I heard. So that may change. I don't know.
Did you, a different subject, but I just thought of this on the approaches to the greens. Are they cut lower than normal? That
Yeah.
they have been in the past? It
So-
seems like we're getting, well, me, because I miss a lot of greens, I guess, but it seems like that ball is sitting on, I mean, like this, on this type of surface. There's grass there,
Mhm.
but in the past, it's been higher where the ball is
Mhm.
sitting up a little bit. And it's on every green.
It's just slightly lower, but we're. Are you talking about right around the green or the approach coming up to?
The approach coming up to the
Yeah,
green.
so we're just pushing out. The mower we were going on the step cut around, we're taking that mower and just mowing out in front, and then it's slightly lower.
Stop
than-
it.
Why?
Oh, did I say that out loud?
You did a lower trajectory shot,
Yeah.
a rollout.
Throw the ball. Throw the ball.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the fairway height.
You guys don't putt from there?
No.
You should.
Yeah, I'm going to start, I guess, trying that shot now.
Never thought about it.
You know, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
No golfing, I'll show you how to do
I hadn't even thought of that.
it. Texas wedge. You gotta do that.
Yeah. All right. Well, that explains it then, because something has changed. And I'm like, it can't be me.
You're not hitting the ball as far.
Well, this
Well,
is
you're
true.
playing from the gold tees, aren't you?
No, not yet. According to your wife, I am.
That's why I threw it out there.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Hey, let's not put down the gold tees.
What's that?
Let's not put down the smart kids.
Let's just set them correct.
Okay.
Liza, if
You're
you're
not far,
listening,
buddy.
She's not.
Any other
You're
questions?
there.
Been there 6 years.
any other productive questions? No.
Okay,
All
so this next item is, we've been approached about a mausoleum in the cemetery. We do not have specific spots plotted for them. So as you can see, the little yellow with the red arrow to it, that is the location we've kind of picked out. There's enough room for probably 3 mausoleums there. There's just a stretch there. There's 1 or 2 other locations we had contemplated. So there again. So the lot sizes that we're proposing are 14 by 14 feet. A typical lots or grave size is 10.5 by 42 inches. So what we did is we took what we thought would be a typical mausoleum size. We made a buffer around it. We took the dollars per square foot of a typical spot and we translated that over to the square footage of 14 by 14. And that came up to just under $3,500. We rounded up just a little bit to make an even number. So that is how we came up with that.
Is that how big a mausoleum is that? Is that
I don't know if
1 person or is that
I don't know if they've gotten that far. So
We don't have any rules or anything governing how big they can be or anything like that.
no, what this will be is we'll say there has to be a grassed area around it because nobody's going to want to have a regular grave right up next to it. So if this should have a 3-foot buffer all the way around it, 3 to 3.5 feet.
A mowable buffer.
Yep. And then if you have another mausoleum right next to it, that makes 7 feet. So that's so.
What about like setting fees? We get, I mean, I'm assuming that would increase too then, wouldn't that?
Yeah. Yep.
How many do we have out there now?
2. Randall Mausoleum and Miller Mausoleum.
How big is Randall's?
Person or size? 4 person.
Yeah.
4
How
person.
many
Yep.
persons?
That one actually only has cremains in. The Miller Mausoleum is actually full caskets.
It wasn't too long ago we put somebody in that Miller one.
Yeah, I had to help.
And they wanted us to open it.
So I guess that's what the proposal is, and if you guys are in agreements with that, we'll approve that. If you guys have issues with the way we come up with that or anything else, we can table it.
So how many can you put in there? I mean, in this little area here.
We're figuring 3 mausoleums in this area.
Okay.
Is what there would be room for.
So just going to ask you seeing a lot of these,
Sell them
Terry?
before you build them.
Yeah.
Terry, you see quite a few of these, or are these not
Can't we just put them
A
down
thing.
in the motel?
mausoleums?
No, I mean, it's getting to be a thing, but it's, I mean, they're expensive.
Oh yeah, they're very
They're
expensive.
very expensive.
I would imagine.
I mean, I'm guessing that mausoleum, I mean, I'm just guessing, you're gonna, 60, north of 60?
I would be shocked if it's any less than that. I'd be more than that, I would guess.
Oh.
Yep. I'm gonna guess somewhere between 60 and 100.
So we don't need to put any rules or regulations in place to govern these in any way, do we? Size, like you're talking about, setback, you know?
Yeah. Well, so we're, I think 3 feet around it. I guess I didn't have that denoted in here. Maybe we should.
Right, but what I'm asking is, do we need to codify something, governing how these are going to go if people are going to do them?
I think right now we're
Just-
approving them on a case by case, aren't we?
Yeah.
Sell them the land.
Some land.
And this one's 14 by 14.
No, that will be the lot size.
The lot sizes.
So it'll be at least 3 feet inside that in all directions.
Yeah, but the
60.
Yeah.
right,
On the cheap side.
So
the actual
yeah,
mausoleum
the
is
actual
less than that,
structure.
but the lot we're approving is 14 by 14.
Yes.
It's an option. Did you say somebody, we're doing this because there's somebody that has an interest? in
Yes.
putting it in? Is that-
Yep. They've been talking to us for a while now,
Okay.
and they are really wanting to do it. So we've been throwing some areas around, and Aaron has talked to this this couple about locations and stuff, and this location would work good because of there would be a spot really close that they could put a family member also. So
What is, tell me, just by looking at that picture, you see, it says golf course. Why am I having a hard time figuring where that's located?
just
It's right along 14, right?
yeah, right along 14.
Okay, right along.
So right where the arrow is, the cursor. No, go back. Okay. Right about there is the fence on number 14.
Okay. Okay.
You've got that grass buffer between the fence and the road.
Yep.
Fence, grass, road. Well, actually, it's fence, grass, my golf balls, the road, and then the.
Gotcha.
I can't hit that mark.
Well, we're talking our second shot.
Now you know where
How
we're
do you
talking.
You guys feel about it? Do you have any issues?
I think this is I think it's an area that's conducive to it, and I think the sizing is good. Like I said, as long as there's a buffer around it, so then that way if there's anything else around it, the nearest grave to it right now, the headstones would be on the other side, so it wouldn't interfere with them. And like I said, if there's a 3-foot buffer on each one, and then you double that to get to the next one, there's more than enough room to mow between them, maintenance between them. So
Show me where where's the maintenance shop up there?
north, or right there it says shop.
Right here.
Right there.
Okay.
And those are the gardens right above that,
Yep.
right?
There's
Yep.
the community gardens.
Okay.
So is there a benefit at all for us, for the cemetery, to have something like that? Like fees or anything like that?
Yeah, well, so like this spot, it's gonna, for the amount of, if there's 2 burials that go in it per se, we're gonna, revenue wise, it's gonna be a little more because we're going by square footage. And the square footage of this is bigger than a regular lot because it's going to be wider and longer. So,
Long term, less mowing on that square footage.
yeah.
And
mean-
did we, sorry. go ahead.
Unless if you guys aren't comfortable with the way we come up with the pricing and everything, if you think we're too low or whatever, we can revisit it, or
Well, and that's what I was just going to ask you. Is that how they figured it in the past?
the other mausoleums.
Yep.
I couldn't tell you.
I was gonna say, do
'Cause
we-
they've been there a while.
Say, yeah, because
Yeah.
heck, Randall's has been there for as long as I can remember.
Well,
So-
didn't you say to come up with that fee, you came up with the square footage and the square footage of what the gravesite would be?
Yep.
And
Yep.
So it's
So
net.
the only other item on there would be the monument setting fee. So that would be on top of it. But as far as square footage used, this is going to cover if we had regular graves there. So
Then with that, yeah. My only concern was this family of somebody else going, hold on, that's not how you figured it for us. It was these guys are getting a deal.
Yeah.
You know, like that's my only. But yeah,
Go
it's,
4,000, even out.
how long has the Miller one been there?
What's that?
How long has the Miller one been there?
I'd have to look into it. Aaron might know, but I don't.
Yeah, that'd be my only. Have you run this number by them? The people who want this?
I guess I'd have to walk out.
I'd have to ask Aaron. He didn't say if he did or didn't.
No, I don't have a problem with it, with how you figured it all. I mean, I think that's fair. I just don't want
Yeah.
somebody to come back and go, hey, that's not how you did it.
Just from conversations that he's conveyed with me on it, I don't think this down amount's going to deter him. So
Yeah.
so
I could be wrong.
Yeah, no,
Are you looking for an approval on this tonight?
if everybody's in, nobody has any issues, yeah, I'd ask for approval. So
We have to make a motion.
Tom,
second.
Joel, any other
Third.
discussion? All those in favor of the 14 by 14 mausoleum for $3,500 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. It is approved. Approved 2026 capital requests.
do you want to look at this first? This would be the phasing,
Yeah.
redone phasing.
Yeah.
So the first and second phase is what we've already done. We had them have, so off to the right, it has completed.
Sorry, what's our date? 150.
So yeah, phase 1 and 2 completed, and then phase 3 is what we're proposing for the next phase. So that consists of reconstructing 14, including pond, new green, forward tees, bunker cart paths, construction of new green on 5, and new tees on 4. And then 5, possibly 6-hole par 3 course. And then finishing off the bunkers that we had, the existing bunkers that we haven't done yet. So there'd be 3 of them.
How are we gonna restruct 14? Remind me.
So there will be, the green will be about where it is, but there will be some mounding with some planting to obscure the shop. And then there will be a pond that will go kind of in that area to the right of the cart path, existing cart path. And that'll go up between 5 green and 4 tee. So then that would move 5 green slightly to the east and rebuild that, and then 4T would get where the men's tee and the white and the blue tee is. That'll get moved a little bit to the west.
So far to the east on 5, will it be a hazard for the tee boxes on 6?
Say it again.
5 green, you're going to move it to the east.
Yep.
Is that going to create any sort of hazard?
I
for the tee
don't think
boxes on
it's not going to move that far. Essentially, it's because I think like the pond will kind of come up to fairly close to the edge of the green where it is now, so it's more just shifting over. I wouldn't think it would be far enough over that it would be.
Are you talking extending the green or making a whole new green?
Whole new green.
Me personally, for my input, I think this is the best part of all the renovations. I don't see, all the other ones had a little bit of negative. I mean, I don't see nothing but positive on this one. Except for you're gonna be playing a temporary at 5, you know, and 14 you can play 12 now if this doesn't get. You know, but It's just, the drainage takes away, you can drain your ponds into it, when you get flooding. That pond will be, correct me if I'm right, have drainage to the lake, overflow.
Mhm.
Yeah. And you get 5 green, which is very nice for us older people, but not very challenging for new golfers. I think it's gonna look prettier, give us new style. 14, the humps initially, I think it's still the same. What was it? Blockage of the machine shed, the cart shed, the equipment shed. I don't see anything negative to it, except for the cost.
Bathroom gonna have to move?
Mm-mm.
What'd you say, Joel?
Bathroom's gonna have to move on the back.
Shouldn't affect that.
Okay.
Because the green isn't gonna really. It'll probably be a little bit bigger, but I don't think it's really gonna move location wise. So no more than now.
Okay, so
Well, and the other part of that is I really don't want it to go any further back
right.
per se because I don't want to lose my road to access the golf course either.
You can't go around the west side no more, can you?
No.
$50.
Mm-hmm.
It's done that now.
So I don't want to get ahead because I know that we're gonna talk capital coming up next. But with this phase 3, we got the golf course. We got 250 into it, right? That we're pledging towards this.
Yes.
Is that right? And then we have another 250 in kind that we feel confident that we will raise. Those people who are coming forward with that extra 250, are they okay with that phase 3, or did they also want some of that phase 4 thrown in there as well too? Because I want to tell council that we got 500,000 going towards this, and then have some of those in-kind folks go, no, because we kind of wanted this new practice area to go along with all this, and phase 4 might not happen. So I no longer have my 15,000, 20,000, whatever they're going to throw in. You know what I'm saying?
Jeff can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a big chunk of that their want was the short course also.
Okay, good.
So-
And that was my understanding
Yeah.
as well too.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that we're not going to have any, because I know that the driving range, I know that's something else that we've talked about as well too, right? Like I just don't want to sell the council a bill of bad goods here and be like, well, instead of 500,000, we got 400,000. Sorry. I don't want to get into that. But I agree with Dan. I mean, to me, this is with that 5-hole par 3 course. I mean, I like the rebuild and all that stuff. Like, I agree with that. But to me, the par 3 and the practice area.
Where did you decide to put the small course?
North.
The 5-hole par 3 course. Where's
I
that?
think the preference would be where the Bowling Green is. I think that would be the preference.
Yeah, there's enough room back there to put 5 holes.
I think so. I mean, until we get into figuring it out. So we can go either location. So if we come up with issues with going over there, it's not going to work. We can always revert back to the original plan.
So would we have the golf course guy that drew it all up? Is he going to come and do that? Is that a fee that we have to pay to have him
Yeah.
do that?
Is that included in this?
Yeah, we've got some some preliminary stuff from him that he's done at no cost, just to kind of give us an idea where we're at. If we do get approval to move forward, then yeah, that'll be added in there. The actual design and the cost will get a lot more firm then, but these are his estimates, and it may fluctuate down, it may fluctuate up, just depending on what there is for room and what we end up with for funding.
Can you fill me in on this a little bit on the phase 3? But I don't see it right here, but there was like $1.3 million or something off to the side, if I remember.
Yep.
that.
1.329.
1.329.
Okay, and so there it is. Okay, 1.3 million. Of that, are you saying that we kind of have 500 out of that? And so we'd be asking the city for the balance?
Yes.
And with that, are they Are they privy to that? Do they know this? Are they?
Well, they were from last year because it was 1.5 or 1.6 where we included the driving range renovations in as well. The costs have changed since then. Those were just estimates that we came up with, and so we actually removed the driving range renovation because that was going to push it up even higher with the new costs.
Okay.
And so we prioritized the par 3 course, the short course, and the finishing the original phase 3 as priority items.
Okay.
So it's actually lower than what we had proposed last summer for a project, which didn't get approved anyway. And the reason is we took out the driving range renovation.
Okay.
And we're going to kick that down the road to the
Gotcha.
next project.
Can I ask you, Jeff, if we, maybe this is more for Dan, do we have a feeling from them at all? Do we have?
Last year, they were pretty positive, and last year was, I mean, as you guys been hearing, you know, we got a lot of stuff going on right now. But, we're pretty positive. I thought last year, they put it out for the feeler. Now, we ain't quite done with the other one yet.
Okay.
As long as our financials look like they like now.
So with that being said, when is your time when you're gonna present this?
Kevin,
A month from now, I have to have a budget submitted
And
For this particular one,
for all of my city budget.
okay?
And it's not approved till November.
Right.
Right. But you're gonna you're gonna hand the baton off. You're gonna be moving this, okay?
And then it goes through the process of city administrator, mayor first before it goes to council and whatnot. So.
and the mayor makes the budget, and the council approves the budget. So the mayor's gotta put it in, or it can be put back in from the council, you know, or asked to be put back in. But the mayor makes all the budget with the city administrator, actually.
So best case scenario, all this goes through. Is this a next year project?
No.
It's a 27.
I talked to contract or architect and stuff, and it's still kind of on the same timeline because by the time we would be able to bid it, the likelihood that we would get competitive bids would be unlikely because a lot of them already have their work lined up for next year. So,
Yep.
and especially by January when we'd be able to bid this. So we're truly looking at 2027.
So it's a 27 project.
The
Yep.
good thing is that if the council is positive regarding this, they could budget half of the city expense each year for that 26 and 27.
So
So what do we need to do from here? Nothing?
for this part, we'll do an approval on all the capital requests. So this is just showing you what this part of it was.
We'll have one big, beautiful motion when we're all done here.
So Kevin, would you basically be looking at this as for the balance roughly 800 that the city would have to kick in and maybe 400 in one year and 400 in the other? Is that
That's what I'm saying, unless they decide, well, let's just get it done with. But as Dan was alluding to, right now they're looking at tennis courts, they're looking at an arena roof, the improvements over to Cadwell, infield. So there's a few bigger things on the
No, I
docket
know,
right
that's
now.
what I'm just throwing it out there.
Right.
But you're looking basically at roughly 800,000 that we'd be going to ask for.
We're bringing $500,000 to the table. Okay, you want to go through your other capital stuff, Jason?
So this is, I got separated out from cemetery to golf course. So this is in order of priority for this stuff. The only reason why I don't have anything in there for cemetery expansion is because we don't have that yet. We're working on getting a concept plan and stuff designed this year. So I don't have those numbers yet. So that's the only reason why we're not asking for anything on it. The tuck point of the entrance pillars. So we have all those structures on 23rd Street coming into the cemetery. This is the first time I've asked for this because it wasn't really realized how bad they were. They need to be tuck pointed pretty bad before they get any worse. So this is the quote I got initially. This is one quote I got. So I'll probably be looking at another one just to get a comparable. So that's what that is. There's actually, I drive by it every day, but I didn't realize there's almost 46 of the, I don't know, they're 4x4 or 6x6 squares coming up. And then there's 4 of the big structures that come up and they swoop around. They're probably as long as this 2 tables. So there's a lot of stonework all the way along there. So that's what that is. The crack seal, chip seal, and fog coat, that's for on the cemetery roads. They're just maintenance that needs to be done before they get any worse. Again, asking for payloader. We've been squeaking by on haven't had anything major happen over the last couple of years. And as we've said before, that my current payloader can't hardly get parts for. So,
And what year is it again?
you had to ask me that.
He's going back in his brain decades, just to.
I want to say like a 95 or something like that, and it doesn't have a ton of hours on it, but it just, like I said, there's been issues with it, and it's a good time to move it while we can get something out of it. And,
I mean, is it worth something yet to somebody?
the one quote I got, they're still willing to give us 21,000. So
I would think of farmer moving silage or something where it isn't used extensively each day.
somebody that can tinker on it a little bit. So
We've been dealing with this payloader for as long as I've been on this board.
Is this the one where the engine is mounted on hockey pucks because there was no engine mounts?
No, that was a different one.
It's solid rubber.
So yeah, we ordered engine mounts, and they had to be modified because the ones we got wouldn't work. So anyways, that's what that is. This rotary brush. So that right now I have an out front unit with a snowblower cab and a rotary brush on the front of it. We got the Ventrac mower for the golf course, and we're already getting a cab and a snowblower for that unit. I would like to get a rotary brush. That way, the current out front unit, we can either trade in or move that to another department that has the need for it. So that's what that is. The concrete in the west side of the shop, that's just the concrete, the west side shop. And this is actually us doing the labor on it.
And that's inside storage area.
Yep. And then a truck, our cemetery truck is really starting to rust out on the bottom. It got banged into the box and to insurance. By the time we did deductible and everything, it wouldn't have been worth fixing. If this truck didn't do lead-ins for funerals, we would just live with it. But so it is something, maybe not next year or the year after, but it's definitely something that needs to be done. As I listed these, the top is the highest priority, the bottom is the lowest priority. So Any questions on the cemetery ones? Golf course. Over the next 5 years, they're again highest priority to lowest. I have general fund repayment for the current equipment. I have that at the top of the list every year to make sure we get that done. Irrigation filter and these next two kind of go together with the zebra mussels in the lake. I need to have better filtration or otherwise we're going to have issues down the road. So the filter would be an automatic flushing unit. We'd just hook it in line and then it would go through there. It would stop all the big stuff or big mussels from getting sucked in past the pump. And then the treatment would be treating the actual irrigation lines. There's a chemical that we can inject into the pipes. We would let it sit overnight and it would kill any of the zebra mussels that happen to get past the filter. So that's what that would be. This cost could possibly be split up between sports complex and soccer complex because we'd be a portable unit where we could take it to each one and treat all their systems too. So
Jason, the draining the lake and stuff, would that be premature to add this?
um,
Not knowing the results of what taking all the sediment out or 70% of the sediment or whatever.
So my other concern with that is, and there again, going back to what we're doing for irrigation next year, it's kind of a question on
Might be worse.
because if we're pulling out of somewhere where all the sediment is at the bottom, we might need the filter even more.
Well, the thing, if that filter's before the pump, it's going to save on your pump too,
The filter would be after the pump.
after the pump.
Yep. Because it's you can't hardly filter it before the pump. So,
You'd be plugging the filter.
I do.
You do? Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
Yeah. On your foot, out in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I guess as far as the zebra mussels, from what I understand, just by draining the lake, from what I've been told, they're not expecting it to take care of that problem. So,
How would they have any proven facts?
I don't
Or against? I don't know how
yeah.
you come up with that
Yeah.
data.
So I don't know. I'm not an expert on it. I don't know.
Yeah, I understand now. We talked about it.
But there again, I really don't have a filter on my system right now. So any issues I've been having even before the zebra mussels, this should help alleviate those issues anyways. So I guess having that filter in place, zebra mussels or not, it should help. It should help everything run smoother. I'm not saying it's full or 100% foolproof, but it should help long term either way. So Cadwell's new system that they just got, they have a nice filter system, and it's a self-flushing unit. So they're kind of ahead on that.
Have you
So.
heard, did you ever talk to the guy from Watertown, how they turned out? The zebra mussels?
I didn't talk to him, but I've talked to others. No, I haven't talked to him.
I did. I've seen him there too, and I talked to him. I did.
So that's what those, like I said, those two items are kind of hand in hand, and it's the number one with draining the lake and the zebra mussels. It's kind of it's just time to do it. The tractor buyout, we mentioned this a little while back. My current tractor that we were on a rental program with that, John Deere is not doing that program anymore. So CMB is allowed us to put in for next year's budget and essentially pay for it next year and still allow us to use it. So that's what that is. Cart path, that is to pave the 1415 cart paths is what that is. And then phase 3. And there again, everything I have above phase 3, I just think they're needed. So that's the only reason why they're above it. So regardless. And then down below that, the range picker is, when I talked to the guy last year about it, he was amazed that we even still have it. He's like, that might be the only one in the country of that vintage. So we've been constantly bandaging it and rebuilding the baskets and whatnot. So
Using parts from the payload?
yeah. So that's what that is. The range dispenser upgrade. I've been outdated on our operating system on that range dispenser for about 3 years now. So if anything goes wrong with it, there's no support for it. So there again, we can roll the dice and
Dispenser itself or for the electronic?
the electronics part of it. The dispenser is all. I was at a show this winter, and the dispenser, their new dispenser, is the same thing. So it's a pretty solid standard. So to buy a whole new dispenser with the upgraded programming, it was about $14,000-15,000. So
Double.
so there again.
Go coin operated, states.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I've had conversations with Eric. I mean, because like I said, we've kind of rolled the dice for the last couple of years, and he's well aware if it goes down, he might be dispensing them in the clubhouse until we get something up and running. So, I mean, if it would go down today, I'm sure it would be at least a month, 6 weeks before we'd be able to. Well, month to 6 weeks after I get approval for it.
It's time.
So, anyways, there's nothing on that list that I don't feel that's. I mean, the phase 3 is debatable, but everything else is
Needs.
needs. Yeah, it's not wants, it's needs. So, unfortunately, that list is just kind of a little bit longer than normal, but so.
So Jason, if this gets approved, then we could actually get a new dispenser starting next year.
This is just
That is just this is the electronic controls. This is not the whole dispenser.
So just get that electronic.
Yep. So it would allow, we would have the option of credit card use from there. We'd have more options available to us if we decide we want to take advantage of those. So.
Is that upgrade transferable? So let's say we buy the upgrade and the machine blows up.
I'm assuming so. I'd have to ask that question.
Just curious.
Yeah. But like you said,
The cost of your new machine would be in the
Yep.
software and the upgrade.
I mean, if I didn't have this long list, I probably would have asked for a whole new machine. But I guess I if you guys feel like I should, I guess I still can. But
Might be a question to ask them
Yeah.
as far as the transferability of it.
How old is that machine right now?
I don't think it was there.
Well, I used the coin operator in 08. I'm gonna say 2010 to 2012.
Yeah,
Sounds
that would be
about
my guess.
Wouldn't it be smart to just get a whole
There's 70 grand
What
difference,
is
yes.
what did they ever figure the return on investment? That thing is being used all the time.
So we,
$1,000, how long do you think it'd take to pay it off?
well, yeah, I mean, so we got,
I'm just talking that.
Yeah. I mean, we made 55,000 last year on the driving range.
So
I mean,
3-year payback.
yeah,
Doesn't seem too bad.
We bought golf balls, too,
No.
but-
but yeah, you get, we've bought a lot of range balls over, range balls are a constant. You got the labor going into picking it, I mean, mowing it, whatnot, so I guess I wouldn't say necessarily,
It's
yeah,
kind of a rough idea.
yeah, I get it, yep. About the only thing that, so that it was 14 or 15,000, but that would not be the elevator to get up to and to dump it in. We could put our current elevator on there and then look at a year or so down the road replacing the elevator to it. So
I think that's part of the reason you have it so low in the priority list. The upgrade's necessary, but the machine.
Yeah.
If we could get by another year and save
Yep.
8,000 with the other items you have listed above.
Yep.
After the breakdown deal, I'm not so sure it shouldn't be number one. Just my opinion. Keep it on the inside.
Well, is what Jeff said, is it transferable, the electronics transferable to the new machine?
I did not ask that question, so I can get that.
So if they are, I mean, I think it's,
So would you give him the liberty, or us the liberty, to adjust that to a different place?
I would say that.
That thing broke, and if you're in the inside, Julian, would that be a
Absolutely.
nightmare? You'd
Yeah.
have all the physical balls in there, you'd be selling like a bucket.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
You do it in the clubhouse.
well, or you'd have to do it like, Vermilion does, where they just go, okay, go out there, scoop them up yourself. But even then you could, I mean, that's not optimal.
We did it one time for a couple weeks
Yeah.
apart.
It's so busy out there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy busy.
Well, and actually what I like about this is you said that you can do like the credit card swipe out there.
Yeah.
So that cuts
They'll
even
pick up use by 10 to 20% again.
cuts that down of people just standing there in line, just say, I need 5 tokens,
Mhm.
right?
Now, the other side of it is if they come into the clubhouse, they buy the range balls and they buy a pop.
And a Snickers bar. Yeah.
Well, and
So I mean, it's kind of a give and take.
and that conversation between Eric and I has happened.
You're right.
So that's kind of well. Another thing is they used to have the cards, the membership cards that they just go out and swipe. Well, you had the issues of, hey Joel, let's go. You can use some of mine. So then they, yeah. So
We'd have problem with coins all the time. Hey,
Yeah.
5 coins. Well, Joe will go out, but he I'm out of coins here. Take my mine. Joe.
Yeah.
It's just part of the expense.
so, I mean, and it's not that the way we're doing it now that somebody couldn't do it that and be, but
I
so.
think you should go for the whole machine.
Yeah.
Put it-
I missed that. What was the whole machine cost?
It was like 15,000. I don't remember the quote I got, but it was in that vicinity.
15,000.
Yep.
Seems like it'd be more than that.
Yeah.
So it, like I said, that's not including the elevator. We have a wash, and then it goes into an elevator that pulls it up and dumps it in the top. So it's essentially the box with the dispenser part. It's kind of intricate in there, but yeah, that's the quote I got. So
I would agree with you. Go for the whole thing. If half the cost is $8,500,
Well, would we get any money back on our current?
It's possible. It's possible.
Put it as a backup.
Well, heck, so.
Well,
I don't think there's an easy way to swap that out, is there? I mean, like quickly.
no. Well, the one thought I had is having a second machine in there, and I mean just having more capacity. But then that would be more balls, also. But
Then you're gonna need to look for a new picker then too,
mhm.
right?
Well, yeah, that's what I was asking for.
But that's a brand new one.
The 7,000. Yeah, that'd be a new picker. And there's a couple different versions. That's probably the higher end of the options. Not necessarily that I would go with that one, but so
We need to approve all those stuff.
yeah, if you guys approve for us to request this stuff, and
Do you want us to add the machine in
I was
there?
just gonna say, how do we?
if you can they just give us the flexibility to do that, or they
Yeah,
need to actually
I
vote
think-
on?
I think we ought to just, I heard that, let's just get kind of a verbal approval of that, that's fine to do that, to give us that
So it'd be
flexibility to do that.
make a motion to approve, including the addition of
If needed.
approximately $7,500 for a range machine as well too, like approximately.
Yeah.
To bring the total to 15,000.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I make the motion to approve with the addition of an actual range machine in there to bring that total to $15,000.
Okay, we have a second.
Does that work, Kevin?
Tom? Any further discussion? We're pretty clear on it. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And opposed, same sign. And it passes.
Just a note for you guys. We've been asked to come up with a 5 and a 10-year proposed, not budget, but what we think are capital requests that we're anticipating. So I might ask a few of you to meet in a smaller group here in the next couple weeks just to discuss some stuff, and I might be asking you your opinion on some stuff. So
Because we'll be talking about golf carts, a whole, another turnover of maintenance equipment.
Yep. So there's a lot of. I've already started a list, and now, like I said, I might be sending you out a list and get your opinions on. And I mean, there's everything from all of our phases to golf carts to cart sheds to possibility of clubhouse, cart pass, pump house. That'll kind of all be on there, and not just because we set it at a certain year doesn't mean it has to stay there. This is just kind of a guideline, and it'll change from year to year and whatnot. So just a heads up.
Before we adjourn, Jason, I just want to say, I'm kind of doing these senior tour events and stuff around. So I'm exposed to a lot of golf courses in the area. And we played on courses that have just bad greens. We did that a week or so ago. And when I come back and play Lakeview and the greens the way that you have them, it's just, again, it's just a thumbs up, and you're doing a great job. I'm old enough that I've played many, many years here, and I can remember a lot of times just hearing complaint after complaint after complaint about our greens, here at Lakeview. I don't hear that anymore. I mean, it's just.
Most of them are dead now.
Not the greens.
Not the greens. People
No.
complain.
The people were complaining.
Yeah,
Most of them.
Post.
but just kudos to you, and you know, it's like when I go there, I'm proud of my course.
Thank you.
Well said. Anything else?
Meeting date.
Got it. 7/14/2025. We are adjourned.